Hello there, it's Stig Plantell. Just some thoughts on weight painting. The best way to get smooth, nice weighting is to ensure that your UVs are laid out properly to begin with. And that you have a sequence of weight painting that makes sense. So when you go into the skin menu and go to paint skin weights after your geometry is selected, you might get this interesting display. Make sure your rig is in the lowest version, the lowest resolution. That way, so you're in the lower resolution, and we're going to go to the skin, paint skin weights, or you can go up here and go paint mode and go that way. Either way, you get to this menu. So you can see there's 100% at the base, joint 1, 50%, and you're getting these colors based upon your color ramp. So somewhere in the middle is this yellowish greenish right there. Okay, and as you select the joints in the attribute in this dialog box, you can edit the weights. So let's say you let's detach the skin. Now we have nothing going, nothing, no skin weights at all. The skeleton can move around and the skin's not quite there. What you have to do is probably, I think I can select the joints through here. Make sure you're shading in X-ray joints so you can see them. Therefore, you have to select each one. You don't just select the base and go, oh, and then bind. You have to select every joint you wish to intend, that you intend to put into this solution. Then you go to skin, bind skin. I like to do selected joints. In terms of bind method, closest in hierarchy at closest distance. Now I wonder if you have a character with an arm down by their hips or up by their, in an A pose, this could get, it could make your default bind a little less than desirable. So I go closest in hierarchy. Classic linear works well. Neighbors for weight distribution. For me, I usually don't allow multiple bind poses unless really need be. So at 3 or 4 should be fine. Let's apply it and just see what the default bind looks like when we run these controls. So stretch. It looks pretty good, but it's a pretty straightforward geometry that's not that far removed from the skeleton. So usually default binds look pretty good. But you'll notice the base is getting a little wacky. So how about we go and edit that by going into, we can right click and go to paint skin weights, and this menu will come up. Make sure you're in the low res version of your geometry. Let's go to the base. So we're going to flood it with replace 1 flood. Now there's no weight on any joint, but now we know everything is assigned to the first one. So let's go to the second one and put our value at 0.5, 50%, and just paint right up. You can paint the whole thing if you like. It's best because it starts assigning that value all the way. But with that in mind, we just want to make sure we're getting this first level here. Then you go up to 100 and paint the remaining geometry. Too big. So I hit B. Make sure you get those double arrows going left and right, and left click to go and size that brush by holding down B. Now I can go a little bigger brush size and finish painting out the geometry. And this brush tip allows you to work more quickly because you're basically painting each vertice or giving an assignment to each bone. So that's the idea, and this is just a visual way of doing it. Joint 2, let's go to 50 or 0.5. And we're going to the next row up. You can see the turquoise selection of the joints there that it's telling us what assignments we're creating here. And we just wanted, I just mostly want 50% here on this section here. And then the rest, of course, is 100%. And I'm painting all the way up, once again, every joint, so that all the weight is being pulled away from this first joint, the base. So all that joint weight when we flooded the geometry is now being pulled away, and we can see that when you go back and check. See, it's starting to pull away. We're on joint 2. Now let's go to joint 3, put the value at 0.5 once again. Looks like we're right here. I'm just checking to see, yeah, we want this next row right here at 50%. And this is how you should be skinning and distributing weights on your entire character. But this gives you a snapshot into what might be expected or what you're going to be heading into. And continuing on this row here at 50%. Up here. And finally, the last bit, somewhere here. Looks like the right spot. And coming around, go to 100 and give all that weight to the end. So your tongue should move in a predictable way now. Come on. And the base is locked down as opposed to what it was doing earlier. And then, of course, your tongue smooth should allow you to get, that's because the tongue smooth was built before. This happens, don't freak out. You have to delete this is good for you to see this, because then you'll know what to do when it explodes. So we're going to skin, we're going to export weight maps, and we'll do them at a high res. I think 1024 is pretty good. 512 probably works. And make it IFF, that's native to Maya, so it's export. And it's going to put it into the source images folder. We have to give it a name that makes sense after Maya loads up on my drive here. So let's call it weights, tongue weights. Tongue weights. 6 maps will be written. Sounds good to me. Now we can detach it, skin, unbind skin, apply. And now we can edit, delete by history. Now, oh, I should have, let me go back. See that tongue smooth modifier that blows up when you change it? This is what we're taking away. Now that it's unbound, you can do that. You can either just turn it off. No. Let's try it. Let's try just turning it off. I don't think it's going to work. I've already been through that. I'm going to save you the pain. You're going to edit, delete by history, and delete all history. So that smooth goes away. That smooth, but you want to make sure it's in 0 mode. So you're at the basic low-res geometry. Now edit delete by history. Now all that's going to go away. Bind this to the skeleton once again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Skin. Bind skin, and we know that all of our settings from before are very valid. Now, of course, we're still in our default, which you can see the base is moving around. So let's go and import our weight maps. Anyway, select the file, and what it's going to do is update and hopefully be in order when that's all set. Open weight map. I think we have to select the exact weight map. Oh boy, it's thinking. Oh, I'm wrong. It was right here. It was right under your source images under tongue weight map. Don't select the tongue weights folder. Those are hidden maps that they don't want you selecting, so that's fine. You set rebuild, which is pretty cool, and now it should work just like expected in the way that we painted it before. Now put your smooth modifier on there, which is under mesh, smooth, and the Maya Catmull Clark, or you could just reset. I really like this one, but that's what I'm going to use. Apply. Now you have a very functional tongue that moves really well because you've done the right weight painting. And there you go. That's weight painting in a nutshell and some considerations you want to keep in mind. Thank you.